A new powder foundation, freshly opened. I'm rich in this moment.
I'm Nikki O, and it's time to drag it out.
Drag queens innovate when it comes to using makeup. Makeup as an art form means that I can be a million different Nikki O's. What I love about Maybelline is the products last all day long, even when you've got to do one of those full days of drag, 12 hours, 2 shows, your face is still gonna be looking great if you're using Maybelline product. New York City drag is the best. It just incorporates everything I love. Creatively, visually, a genuine love for drag, connecting with people in an audience, expressing who you are on the inside or who you want to be that night.
Ooh.
So she's trying to feel
she is flaming. She is flaming.
To do the same if somebody uses multiple pronouns. But then you might be asking, but what pronoun do I use then? Do I just use the first one? Do I kind of pick and choose? Well, yes, to both of them. A lot of the time people will put their most preferred pronoun or their favourite pronoun at the start of the pronoun set, and typically you should use that one most. However, that's not the same for everybody. So, to make sure that you affirm everybody, it's best to use the pronouns interchangeably. So, in one sentence, use the first pronoun, and in another sentence, use the second pronoun. Or another option is that you use the different pronouns in the same sentence. So, for example, you can say, oh, he's coming over tonight. They really like pizza, so they're going to join us. It's as simple as that. But if you really struggle with putting both of those pronouns or multiple pronouns, because somebody may use 3 or 4 pronouns. If you struggle putting them in the same sentence, use one pronoun per sentence. So in one sentence, you will use they, if you were talking about me. And in another sentence, you will use he, if you're talking about me, because my pronouns are they, he. Or you can always ask the person and say, hi, you use multiple pronouns. Is there a preference? Do you prefer using one on a certain day? Does it depend on how you dress? Because for some people, they may want to use a certain pronoun depending on how they look on a certain day or how they feel on a certain day. So for me, for example, I like using they. They is my go-to pronoun. It's at the start of my pronoun set and I love it the most. I feel at home in they. However, I really enjoy he. However, I mostly prefer he when I'm feeling very masculine. So if I feel very masculine and I say to you, oh, I'm feeling really masculine today, use he pronouns. But you can totally use he at any other time. However, I do prefer he pronouns when I am feeling a bit more masc. But being non-binary and trans masc, that kind of fluctuates and can be whenever. Multiple pronouns can be confusing, but practice makes perfect. Try it out, pretend that your friend uses multiple pronouns and just have a conversation with them and practice. You'll get there. You got this.
Hey girls, it's almost Halloween and you know what that means, right? I've got to participate in the tradition.
You know, I went no contact with my family, my genetic family. That was a few years ago now, but I think of you as my new family. I just thank you for being so kind, so accepting. You know, especially this year, amongst the LGBTQs, I value having you as a family in my life. And this time of year, you belong. That's my ride. That's a joke. I care about you. Thank you, family.
I am finally getting my banana split later this year. I talked to my surgeon on the phone and this is how he's going to do it. Step 1 is, of course, to split the banana. Inside the banana, we find a small tube of red licorice. You know this tube. It's the one that transports caramel sauce and frosting. We're actually going to shorten this tube, and I will show you why later. Next up, we're going to move our way back to the ice cream bag that is holding the 2 maraschino cherries, and we're going to remove them. I already had mine removed last year, but if I hadn't, they'd be removed now. Next up, we're going to remove the innards from the banana so that it's basically just a hollow tube. Now that we have our tube, we need to flip it inside. The inside will be played by this butternut squash. As you can see, the tube of licorice that we cut is right here. You can see why we wanted it about this short. In order to flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash, we must first make room in the butternut squash. So let's make some space. There we go. Finally, we can flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash and let it heal. Healing can take up to a year, but really I'll be on my feet after a few months. And yes, this is very messy, but it's also very worth it.